88 West with enhancing your radio experience. Diamond 88.7 FM, shining supreme.
For the best of national, local, international news and sport, tune in to News Punch and Diamond 88.7 FM. News Punch, all about the news.
The time is 9 o'clock. Good morning, and many thanks for staying with us on Diamond 88.7 FM. Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. This is News Punch, a news and current affairs compilation of topical stories, headlines making the rounds. I am your host this great morning, Joseph Emeribei. Here are the headlines trending in the news today. Tinubu declares 63rd NBA conference open. Nigeria still losing 400,000 barrels of crude oil daily, says Nuhu Ribadu. Tinubu's academic journey should baffle Nigerians, says Atiku. Niger State Delta Minister reiterates commitment to serve region. FG discovers illegal crude oil connection in Abia. Rwanda's President Kagame hosts Nigerian governors to dinner. I'm still undergoing NYSC. Tinubu's minister opens up. Still on the national front, and here in Kwara governor mourns army major killed bandits in Niger Delta, in Niger ambush. NAF airstrike hit oil thieves, terrorists. I've kept faith in Yobe with project, says Buni. Niger government pledges support for IDPs. Police begin manhunt of man threatening traditionalist in Kwara. Nigeria risks massive floods as Cameroon set to open Lagdo Dam. And lastly, Ogun 20 local government shares 5.233 billion naira for August. Away from the national front. And to report from foreign scene, on the foreign scene, Zimbabwe leader hails mature democracy after disputed re-election. Dam talks resume between Egypt, Ethiopia, and Sudan. 2 dead, 56 injured in Romania gas station blast. Houthi rebels kill 10 Yemen soldiers. Moving on to the world of sport. Nigerian champions Eyimba crash out of CAF Champions League in first round. Super sub Nunes strikes twice as Liverpool stun Newcastle. Those are the major headlines making the rounds today. It was compiled and edited by Abiodun Akinwumi. My name is Joseph Emeribei. Good morning. For sponsorship or advert placement, kindly contact our sales and marketing office on 08037 115534. You can also reach us via 08124981542. Up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we discuss and have an in-depth analysis on some of the topical stories. Don't forget, you can also follow us by logging on to any of our Diamond FM online platforms on www.diamondfm.net, or keep up to date via our social media pages. And you can reach us on all our social media pages at Facebook at Diamond 88.7 FM, Twitter, we are live at Diamond 887 FM, Instagram, Diamond 887 FM. We'll be going for a quick break, and when we return, you will be meeting my guests, and together we'll be delving deeper into the program with our focus on the tension since the appointment of Ms. Anatu Musawa as Minister of Art, Culture, and Creative Economy. We'll also look into former VP Atiku Abubakar's tweet and matters arising thereafter, and I will then touch on a Port Harcourt refinery to begin operation in December, says Minister. When we return, we'll together analyze and dissect these issues of great public importance. Please stay tuned.
The sounds, the vibes, good talk and conversations. You can have it all on Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin. Diamond 88.7 FM, we've got you.
The major talking point in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, I want to kill us. Father, not kill us for Nigeria. Oh, please, help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can a government, how can you hurt in domain? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice genuine democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people.
From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Lorry, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
For you just tuning in, it's still Diamond Breakfast Show. Yes, and broadcasting live from the International Media Center of Brighter Broadcasting Limited, Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. You can also listen and be a part of the program by logging on to any of our Diamond 88.7 FM's online platform via www.diamondfm.net or at Diamond 887 FM on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Our studio line shall also be opened in due course for you to make your position known and to, most importantly, react to issues raised today, the 28th day of August 2023. My name is still Joseph Emeribei, and I'm having the pleasure of hosting, yes, another noble mind, a man of great character, a public commentator. Yes, I use a youth vanguard. His voice has been on so many platforms as well. Yes, I have Tajuddin Habib, tallest for short. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Yusuf. It's
Good
nice
morning.
seeing you here again.
It's a pleasure having you on board this great morning. Yes, I know the issues we have before us are kind of not too new to you. You're quite aware of what we're having to discuss this great morning. But I want to quickly brush through the report as the tension since the appointment of Miss Anatu Musawa, okay, as Minister of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy. The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria has alleged that the Minister of Art, Culture and Creative Economy, Anatu Musawa, is a serving member of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSA. According to a statement by Huriwa on Thursday, Musawa dumped a NYSA scheme in Ebonyi State many years ago and later showed interest in completing it. It's a very long read. The truth is so much have really it's still before the public domain as we speak. Lawyers are reacting. Public commentators are also reacting. Those at the opposition are also counter-reacting. Comrade, what do you have to say first of all on this issue before we delve deeper into it?
Once again, good morning, dear listeners at home.
Good morning.
You see, the issue of Nigeria, sometimes when you look at it, you tend to be so angry that you don't want to discuss them sometimes. And one of those scenarios is exactly what we're witnessing with the incumbent Minister for Creative Economy and Culture. Unfortunately, we are a kind of people that have this mindset that everything goes. If not, we wouldn't be talking and we wouldn't be discussing exactly what we're discussing today. It is even away from the constitutional duty. It is morally right for you to be open when you want to take the position of leadership. Unfortunately, if it were not to be for the a petition by Uriwa, you wouldn't be in the know of exactly what is happening behind the scene with this minister. I do not understand exactly why we would have a constitutional provision and somebody who wants to lead the country, who should, by virtue of expectation, be a model for others to emulate, is the one going against the provision of that constitution.
How do you mean going against the provision of the constitution?
Of course, the constitution mandates that as a graduate in the country, you serve your fatherland for 1 year.
Yes.
And then from that constitution, there is that act, the NYSC Act, enacted out of the constitution that states some certain procedures, guidelines for you to be a club member. And then the constitution says that this act says that NYSC is a full-time job.
It is.
Once you are undergoing that training, you are not meant to do any other thing. And that's exactly the reason why you see in so many cases, son of nobody, I intentionally use that word, son of nobody, if they go against some of these guidelines, they tend to have an extension in their service year, some without even payment. And then in the case of this minister, she actually dumped this scheme without any excuse. She graduated in 2001, and because it is mandated that once you graduate under 30, you are mandated to go through the National Youth Service Corps, and that's exactly the reason why she's coming back now. It wasn't for fun. She didn't come back because she wants to come back. If she had her way, she wouldn't be back to NYSC, because we're thinking about something that happened 22 years ago. She graduated in 2001 and she was deployed to Emeribei, and she escaped. According to the report, she left that service without any excuse. She just went into Team A and she came back, and now she wants to become a minister. Probably she has been seeing the thriller from afar that I'm going to be taking up position of leadership, and there is going to be an issue. You remember the issue of Kemi Adeosun in 2017.
Yes.
So she understands some of the backlash that will come with it, and that's exactly the reason why I think she went back for that mandatory 1 year service. And then you are in that place. You should know. You should be open. You should be able to tell the people that nominated you, I don't know who got you into that nomination, that this is exactly my situation, and not that you'll be creating a kind of distraction for a government that is still finding its balance to govern the affairs of the country. It's unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate. So, and I hope that the president will have the ball too, to make a scapegoat of her, at least to send a signal that if you have the intent of leading the country, if you have the intention of guiding the people, of representing over 200 million people, you should come with a clean hand. You graduated, you're fine. So if you are going to serve, you are going to do some diligence, you are going to do the right thing. Not doing the right thing dents the image of the administration and the government for which you want to serve in. And I hope that they will take the bull by
Toles, so you made reference to the act of the NYSA. I'll quickly touch on the act. According to Section 2, Subsection 2 of the NYSA Act 2004, the only excluded Nigerians from the mandatory participation in the scheme are those who attained the age of 30 before their date of graduation, those who served in the Nigerian Armed Forces or the police for more than 9 months, staff of Nigerian security organizations, and those conferred with national honors. The lady in question was born on the 1st of November 1974. Ms. Musawa graduated from the University of Buckingham and the Nigerian Law School before age 30, meaning she's still eligible should she choose to go to the NYSC because she graduated before she clocked 30 and is therefore eligible for the National Service. Now, the stance of Uruwa says what she's doing is wrong. Some lawyers, including Femi Falana also, are of the same opinion, the same school of thought, and also in the same league, saying she did the wrong thing. But someone came out to counter their stance. Before we proceed on that, we have bills to pay. After settling these bills, we're back to discuss more. Please stay tuned.
Are you looking to introduce your business to the world or maintain an existing brand image? Well, let's help you. Advertise with us at Diamond 887 FM in Lorry. We provide a wide range of services to help showcase your business. For inquiries and advert bookings, visit our marketing office at Plot 2, New Uni Road, Irewolede, Ilorin, or call 091 2929 4332 or 081 2828 6078. Diamond 887 FM, your shining supreme station. Are you looking to introduce your business to the world or maintain an existing brand image? Well, let's help you. Advertise with us at Diamond 887 FM in Lorry. We provide a wide range of services to help showcase your business. For inquiries and advert bookings, visit our marketing office at Plot 2, New Uni Road, Irewolede, Ilorin, or call 091 2929 4332 or 081 2828 6078. Diamond 887 FM, your shining supreme station.
Glad to still have you there. It's still the Diamond Breakfast Show, yes, from the stables of Diamond at 8.7 FM. And I've been discussing, with Tajuddin Habib, also known as Tallest for short. We are looking into the issues raised, by Nigerians and also other relevant authorities, saying having a Minister of Arts and Culture still a serving corps member is not good for our politics. This is just one out of so many issues that we have before us this great morning. Yes, you can be a part of this conversation. Our studio line is 09136556952. 09136556952. You can also reach us via WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp line is 09136556864. Yes, we are proceeding with this very issue before us. And just as I mentioned earlier, before we went on that quick break, contrary to the stance of Falana, Huriwa, and some other lawyers, Kayode Adelola, who is also a senior advocate of Nigeria, was on Channel's Sunday Politics. And to him, he said I use the word embattled minister haven't done anything wrong yet. So let's hear from him. I will return to talk more. Please stay tuned.
What we are complaining about here is the fact that Mrs. Hannah Musawa as an appointed minister. Now, is that employment? Because if you do not have your NYSC certificate, you shouldn't go into an employment. Now, would you define being a minister employment which attracts pension, which attracts promotion, which attracts the nuances of an employee? And who's a high employer in this situation? Is it Mr. President? or the Federal Republic of Nigeria? And would you consider being a minister's service to the nation? See, these are issues that we actually need to consider to determine whether she has actually flouted the law. Now, if she already has a place of primary assignment, and in addition to that, she's minister, would it be different if she had a place of primary assignment and in addition to that, she was called up to be an enumerator in the process of census, or she's called up to be, an environmental and sanitation supervisor? Would we have the same reaction? I don't think so. Now, she's a young person.
Yes, we'll be stopping here for now. Tallest, you heard him. You heard him quite all right. Do you? I know you're not a lawyer, but I know you're also widely read. You've also compared notes and the rest of it. Looking at all of these happenings, is it good for us as a country?
You see, sometimes some of these people embark on some of this journey because they understand that there will be some people that will be out there defending it rigorously. And sincerely, I don't want to be disrespectful to the learned sick, but I don't think what he has presented has any substance. Because if you're thinking about whether somebody is in NYSC and she's deployed, he or she is deployed to go and do census enumerator or some other. Of course, yes, that is part of what they want you to do as a corps member. They want you to be useful for the country. Is census not part of the usefulness the country want to use it for? This is the point. As a minister, you have the responsibility to direct the affair of a particular ministry, a government policies, government decisions. You have the responsibility to make decisions, and you earn from such responsibility. So if you are not asking me, are you going to say it is equal with being a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? I don't think they are correlated. So the fact still remains that these people do some of this thing because they understand that we will have the foreign opinion as a country, and there will be some people out there defending some of this as stands. But the truth is that the Constitution is clear, the Act is clear, the expectation is clear. Once you are serving, you are not expected to do any other thing. You are not expected to
once you're serving corps member.
You are not expected to engage in any other activities that can distract you. Now the question now is that being a minister, will it not distract her? How would she be able to manage the two affairs? Going to our PPA, it's a pointer to a fact that she is not ordinarily going to that PPA before now. That's the truth. She's not serving. It is just it is just something like that doing just to camouflage. So I do not expect that somebody of that knowledge will be defending such.
We'll still get to this very point or issue you're raising at the moment, but I want to go back to the NYSA. The PRO of the NYSA came out boldly to say that it was against the NYSA Act for any corps member to pick up any government appointment until 1 year of national service. That's it, just by the way. Another thing is the Act. There are sanctions. If you go to Section 13 of the NYSA Act, there are clearly spelled out sanctions, fines, should you choose to flout the NYSA Act. The question I have to ask, though I tried reaching out to the PRO NYSA Quara, is why is it that these individuals, I don't know, are they kind of different from the rest? Why should they choose to turn a blind eye to that very side of, oh, this lady has flaunted, has gone against our act as a serving corps member? Why can't we initiate? Why can't we enact or use the carrot and stick process to sanction her? Since 2003.
I said something when I started this conversation. The son of nobody. In Nigeria, it is an obvious thing that the law is always at its best when it has to do with somebody who doesn't have that clout, who doesn't have that influence. But once you have some certain level of influence, what we have as a mindset is the fact that anything goes.
Anything goes.
And that's exactly what we are seeing. How can somebody be mobilized as far back as 2002, 2003 for NYSC, and such person without any letter to the authority, without any excuses given to the people in charge of that scheme, left NYSC? Why did she come back? Because she knows that there will be some backlash, and that's exactly the reason why she came back. So it means that she understands exactly what the law says. That's why she's serving today. She's over 40 today.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So she went back for NYC because she understands exactly what the act says. But because they knew that for them anything goes, they can actually find a way to manipulate the process, and that's exactly the reason why they are doing it. So just like I have said, that NYC was just like, let me do it for doing sake. It is not for the reason why it was actually stated to be done.
All right.
So I'm very sure nobody is even talking in government as at this particular period of time. Nobody is talking from the government angle, and probably she will be able to get out of it without any sanction.
We'll get back to that. I want us to quickly pick a reaction on WhatsApp. This person sends in his reaction from Maiduguri. He said, "Good morning to you in the house. NYSC issue and the minister. Please, why is it that those who wrote petition against El-Rufai then refused to write petition against this woman during the screening? I believe our senators knew all this information about her even better than us before. This is a woman. I watched her screening, went emotional, crying when she was delivering her speech, and senators just said bow and go. In this Nigeria, if we condemn things like this, we condemn it based on our personal interest, not based on national interest. And if we support anything, it is based on our personal interest, not national interest." This is from Abdul Wahid Ukoba from Maiduguri. Thank you for your stance on this very issue. I want you to react to this. And you marry it with your other position.
Of course, yes. You understand. When you look at the Nigerian situation, you tend to understand that not all of our things, or let me say 80-90% of our things are done based on our personal interests and not based on the national interest, the altruistic reason for which we should be taking our positions. The National Assembly didn't screen El-Rufai up till this moment. They have not come out to say this is what we found him wanting about. But you see this kind of cases. What is the essence of the screening? If you cannot spot some certain things like this, little things like this, that somebody is because I'm very sure she presented a CV, and definitely I'm very sure she'll put it there that she's a serving corps member. If that's the case, the National Assembly enact the law, they sign that act. So if that's the case, why didn't they spot it and then be able to call the attention of the authority to it? So it's unfortunate. Once our interest aligns, anything goes in Nigeria. The only time that you will see people going against a certain thing is when it goes against their own interest, and it's unfortunate for us. That's exactly the reason why the country is where
you're saying something with regards to the abuse, of the NYSC scheme by those in affluence.
Of course, you this is on air.
Where we see individuals posted to CBN, individuals posted to the National Assembly.
And then you have
individuals posted to Shell and Chevron.
When you, as a son of nobody, requested for such posting, they will tell you that the NYSC does not allow a corps member to post to some of those organizations. That it was in 2011 or 12 that the NYSC changes from posting corps member to private organization to public schools. In fact, specifically schools. Even if you ask for ministries, they will tell you that you cannot go to those some of these ministries. So it's unfortunate that this is where we find ourselves. And that's exactly the reason why the country continues on the same spot where we had decades ago. It is until we do the right thing. It is until we allow the system to work both for those with affluence and influence and those without those affluence and influence. That's exactly the reason why we start having the best at the ends of our affairs at department to deliver the best for the country.
So much to say, sincerely. You know something about this very issue, okay? Before we close the curtain on this very, very issue of NYSC and the Minister of Art and Culture, do you see some individuals are saying NYSC has outlived it's a essence already in this country.
I
Do you join in the
I didn't. I'm not joining that conversation. Of
All
course,
right.
yes.
Please hold your thoughts. We're having another bill to pay. We'll be back to talk more. Please stay tuned.
kára ó lè pé bàmù rẹ̀ àtúrà dáadáa. kókó lára ọ̀tá le. gbéra ńlẹ̀ kó dìde. kára ó lè pè ń bà. àtúrà wọ̀ àtúrà pẹ̀sẹ̀ àtúrà dáadáa. kegun tó kegun náà. kára ó yá gágá. ara ń ronú tẹ́lẹ̀ kò ronú mọ́. tẹ̀ bá ti fi kára ó lè pè ń bà rà. lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ wọnú igun. tó sì ń ṣe àtúntò rẹ̀. òṣùbù yẹ̀kẹ́ fa párọ̀ tàbí fi ẹsẹ̀ dá. fi kára ó lè pè ń bà wọ̀. káì ara rẹ̀ ó lè padà yakinlala. action action. ó jẹ́ ara ríro tàbí ẹ̀yìn dídùn. kára ó lè pè ń bà lọ́kọ̀ gbogbo wọn. agbára pọ̀. kára ó lè pè ń bà. tuyi pharmaceutical industries limited. àwọn tó lórúkọ tó ṣe é gbẹ́kẹ̀lé níbi ká po oògùn òyìnbó ló ṣe é. kára ó lè pè ń bà. ẹ̀rọ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ pín ìrèpàtú òpèrè ta pàtà pọ́npọ́n. kára ó lè pè ń bà. ó kì í síbẹ̀. kára ó lè pè ń bà mú rẹ̀ àtúrà dáadáa.
Children are gifts to the world. As parents, it is our responsibility to nurture them to greatness, and at Colored Minds, we help your child become independent and useful children in the society. Colored Minds School is a school solely for children with learning and behavioral disabilities, such as the cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, attention deficit hyperactivity syndrome, autism spectrum, etc. We adopt a teaching model that enhances learning, concentration, attention, and that brings out a child's talent. It is the first of its kind in Kwara State and its environs. We have seasoned teachers who have experience in areas of special needs education. We have a conducive environment that encourages attention and calmness in a child. Our aim is to rehabilitate and incorporate the child back into regular schools. We strive to make the child independent in our society. We're located at Budo Siokete off Asadam Road, Ilorin. You can call us on 070-6355-0136. You can also call 080-3941-1529. You can also email us at hugsandcuddles00@gmail.com. Cuddled Minds, nurturing your child to greatness.
All right, it's still the Diamond Breakfast Show. Yes, and we've been talking deep. Okay, matters arising in our dear country, matters affecting you, affecting us as a family, as citizens of this great country. And today, and what's still trending is the issue with NYSC and the Minister of Arts and Culture. So much to say, and we are still touching on that, rounding off actually on this very issue. But we want to hear from you. You're listening, yes. You can be a part of this conversation, okay? 09136 556952. 09136 556952. You can also reach us should you be having challenge with that very line. Okay, you can reach us via 08000 887 887. I take it again, 080 887 887. All right, you can also send in your WhatsApp messages via 09136 556 864. Comrade, you were saying something, and the issue is with respect to the essence. NYSC got introduced into the country to fix some anomaly in the system, to encourage youth to be more patriotic and the rest of it. Some individuals are saying NYSA has outlived its potency, quote and unquote. Do you join in their thought?
I didn't. I'm not joining in that thought. While I believe that NYSC needs some certain level of review, I still want to believe that considering the peculiarity of the country, NYSC still has a whole lot of void to fill in the country. Take, for instance, as a fresh graduate, considering the requirement for employment and some other things in the country, in my own opinion, I see NYSC as a form of internship for the potential graduates, people who are going into the labor market. It's a form of internship for me, rather than going out there to apply for internship. And that's exactly the reason why I said, rather than saying it has outlived its potency, I'd rather say that we should review it to meet up with the current reality, with the current global demands, as it has to.
Let's have this call. Hello, your name and where you're calling from. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Bamidele Gespanima speaking from Ofa.
Mr. Bamidele, right?
Yes.
All right, 30 seconds.
We have not even started the question we are supposed to start from. Is 43-year-old supposed to start?
By the act.
By the act.
She graduated before 30, so she's qualified.
That's the first question. Let me tell you.
Okay.
I'm 69 years old. There's no time I've been disturbed about this Nigeria than now. Go and check from 1999 to date. It is either educational or NYC, controversy over people elected, selected, or appointed. We don't need to talk about even law, whether it's constitutional or not. Is it moral?
Is it moral?
That's the question. The law says you cannot serve if you are 30. All you need to do is to get exemption certificate. Then somebody at 43 is serving and is being appointed. Now, what of those who trained and cleared that? What of the security? Don't they see all these things? Sometimes I'm optimist.
All right.
But sometimes I become pessimistic.
We preach hope on this platform.
We can see them as little things, but they matter a lot.
All right, your
if
position is
things
clear.
like this is generating controversy. Remember, it's not only her. It's other people at the top. They are even having certificate issue now. Where do we go from here? God bless Nigeria.
God bless you too. Bamidele from Ofar, making these positions. No. We've really dwelt so much on this very issue. Okay, we have another call. Let's have this before we move on. Hello, your name and where you're calling from. Hello. All right, we lost that. Okay, yes. Should you advise now? What do you recommend? Okay.
Okay, I believe this is a distraction for the country, for the government. Just like I've said, a serious government will have looked into this issue and take a decision.
All right.
In a bid to take away themselves from that distraction. I hope the president will take the bull.
Let's have this call. Your name and where you're calling from, please. Oh, we lost that. All right. I want us to move on. Our time is really fast spent. Atiku Abubakar, the former vice president of this great country, okay, was on Twitter very recently, and his stance or statement on Twitter is still raising dust. Okay, according to him, I'll just pick a few of what he posted. I woke up this morning wondering how we got to this cul-de-sac. Cul-de-sac, it means it's a French word, which means a route or course leading to nowhere. I am scratching my head. How is that possible? Me thinks that all well-meaning Nigerians should be as confused as I am with Tinubu's declaration that he had no primary and secondary education, yet he has a university degree. You may wish to ask Tinubu how he attained these feats so that we can learn from his ingenuity. Looking at this, some individuals are saying, first of all, Atiku is calling for necessary attention. I don't know. Do you share that thought?
Is it attention? If you said Atiku is calling for attention, of course, yes, politics is a game of attention. But the truth is that the substance of the message, should we throw away the water with the baby, the bath water with the baby? No, that's it's just like the case we just treated, the case of NYC. Why do we always have leaders who have questionable past, questionable character? It's actually unfortunate, and it speaks volume of exactly what we should expect from that leadership. Because because if you have a leader whose past is not straight enough for people to learn from.
Let's have this call. Hello, your name and where you're calling from. Please, a quick one. Your name and where you're calling from. Good morning.
My name is Solala. I'm calling from Bagua.
All right. Please, a quick one.
Okay, my contribution is my submission this morning is on the issue of minister that's also currently serving, also a co-member now. But I think my question is first go to the House of Assembly and DSS that they said they are questioning them before send their name to House of Assembly. What is the essence of the screening that they do to them? Because I think a co-member can also be minister.
Okay.
Because during the times when you are in camp, we'll be swearing that you are ready to serve our fatherland with humility and everything.
All right.
And this country, we need to do the needful, because a lot of people they are in the states that they are not co-member. Why are you not giving them the appointment that you are based on co-member to be a minister of the state?
Your position is clear. Thank you so much, Sola Lata from Baruba. Yes, you were saying something before that call came through.
If you have questionable past, if you have questionable character, it speaks volume about what we should expect from you. Unfortunately, just like I've said, once you have the influence, you have the affluence in Nigeria, anything goes, everything goes. And that's exactly the reason why we don't ask questions. Yes, Atiku might be political, but the truth is that, should we ask? Can anybody just wake up one day and become the president because we don't want to ask about the past because we think it is political? Those questions are genuine. How did you do it? You have been governor in the country. You have a particular declaration about your past, about your profile. Today you are giving us another declaration about your past. So it's the truth is, sometimes, just like the first caller mentioned, sometimes you tend to have your hope high, and sometimes you ask yourself, is this hope a reality?
Is it a reality?
Is it realistic? Because if you have a situation like this, you tend to be discouraged. How do you tell the words at home to go to school that it is very, very important for them to go to school so that they can become somebody in the future, when they have a president that we cannot be able to trace his primary education, secondary education? It's obvious.
This case is in court. I don't want us to dwell too much.
I'm not.
And I don't want us to
the truth is that it is
the
questionable.
court.
The truth. That's the truth. That's exactly the reason why you are having. How is it difficult for me to come out? I have my primary school. I know the primary school I went to. I know the secondary school I went to. I know my primary school members. Even when I was coming into this studio today, when I was in the Polytechnic, I met some of my classmates in the Polytechnic this morning. So it shouldn't be so much difficult for me to be able to present evidence that some of these things that I said I did, I actually do.
Let's marry this caller. Oh no, we lost that. Okay, for you trying to reach us, please. Our studio lines are still very much open. Okay. Hello, your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, I'm Prince Bankole from Akajola.
Please, I didn't get that. Hello?
I'm Prince Bankole from Akajola.
All right, Prince Bamidele, right?
It's unfortunate this country. How can it having Cropper be made a minister in the country? Anyway, I'm not surprised. There was during Obasanjo regime, there was a senator, Omisore, who was, I think, was in prison then. He was appointed and he was voted for. Who voted for him? So anything can happen in this country. Is unfortunate, and I don't even expect Baba Tinubu to approve of that copper. Right. The copper being a minister is uncalled for. There are other people, graduates, who have sat for so many years and they have nothing doing. If that's how to be appointed, that's better than somebody who's in service. Right. I'm disappointed somehow.
Thank you.
We are one of those who voted. I'll campaign for him massively. But this is not the way to run a country. It's never done anywhere. I'm disappointed, as I've said. Good morning.
Good morning, Prince Bamidele from Kajola. Yes, we've shifted attention from the Minister of Arts and Culture.
Of course, yes, it is related. We are still talking about some things that shouldn't be heard of. Okay, if you want to throw yourself up to serve, just like I stated in the beginning, if you want to throw yourself up to serve, you should at least come up with a clean profile that people will not be questioning. If you don't have it, say that I don't have it. What does the Constitution says as a requirement? If you have the requirement, you are good to go. You cannot say you have university education without you giving us exactly what the primary what your primary education.
Please, let's have this call. Hello, your name and where you're calling from. Please, let's make it very brief, please. Good morning.
I'm Ahmed Adeyemi calling from Ofa.
All right, Ahmed Adeyemi, you have the floor quickly.
Yes. Thank you very much for. I like this topic you are talking about this morning. You understand? It's something that everybody needs to reflect on the kind of governance that is happening in this country. In the sense that if you look at the precedent she's trying to set now, they are trying to set a bad precedent. If people have been elected or been given appointments in such positions where they have not gone for NYSC, and they believe that even with them not going, people in the corridors of power can still put them in the position of appointment as a minister. What do you think? This is a bad precedent for this country.
Comrade Ahmed Adeyemi, I want to ask you a direct question, and this time around, not about the NYSC
Somebody
saga.
said comrade. How did you know I'm a comrade?
Yes, not about the NYSC saga. I want to ask you about this tweet by the VP, former VP Atiku Abubakar. Isn't it to me no? crying after a spilled milk or something? Or is it good? Will it change anything at this time? Will it change anything?
No. The tweet by Atiku Abubakar is just for us to even reflect on the kind of people that are leading us in this country. Let's leave the sentiment of the party apart.
Okay.
You understand? We leave the party sentiments apart. But we're looking at the tweets now. Look at the tweets. Look at the words on the tweet. How could someone like the person you were talking to, your guest on the state, he has primary school mates. He has secondary school mates. You understand? How can somebody that is the president of the country not have schoolmates, not have primary schoolmates, not have secondary schoolmates? Let's look at the tweet.
All these allegations before the court, and I don't want us to dwell too much. Your point is clear. Amen. Adeyemi from Ofa. Thank you so much for calling. All right. Tallest, you were saying something.
It's pathetic, seriously pathetic. If you have some of these are not issues we should be discussing. It's a distraction. The country is faced with so many challenges: economic, security, education, health. What can you think of that we are not facing? And then we now have some of this distraction taking us away from the current realities of what.
Before we move to the next issue before us, let's have this call. Hello, your name and where you're calling from. Good morning. Olarewaju, right?
Yes.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle.
Yes, sir.
And my greeting to the comments over there.
All right.
Thank you.
So, according to the short, somebody mentioned that we are lead a bad president for the future. Because we are yet to have a formidable action. I mean, formidable plan to plan ourselves that we have a good leader. I must say this. Look at that of Buhari and some other governors still remain in the power without any kind of response. We have to find something to do to solve that before out of hand. This is not going well with us in Nigeria. Apart from it, we have a problem with our economy, security, and other. This is that. But let's see somebody knows about this thing. Administration has to do with knowledge. Has to do with perfection. Has to do with uprightness.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Olarewaju from Ilorin. Yes, our time is really fast spent, and we still want to have more calls. But before we proceed, I want us to move to the next issue. We've dwelt so much, dwelt longer than expected on this very issue. And this next issue is with respect to the refinery being up and running by December. Some individuals are saying it's almost something impossible, or they're just giving us false hope. Let me quickly read. The Nigerian government says that the Port Harcourt refinery will become functional by December. A statement signed by Garba Dean Mohammed, the Chief Corporate Communications Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, made this known on Friday. The statement said that the 60,000 barrels per day Port Harcourt refinery was shut in March 2019 for the first phase of repair and works after the government secured the service of Italy's Mary Tenmont to handle the scoping of the refinery complex, with Oil Major Eni appointed as a technical advisor. In 2021, the NNPCL said repairs had started after the Federal Executive Council approved $1.5 billion for the project. Last September, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, said the country's biggest crude refinery in Port Harcourt would restart operation in December after it would have completed a revamp that began over a year ago. But Premium Times analysis on October last year showed that the timelines were unmet. That's just on one side. Okay, before I then bring reaction of some key stakeholders in this industry, what do you have to say first of all?
Of course, what I can say particularly about this case is that, of course, yes, it is obvious that at this particular period of time you have the rehabilitation of the refinery going on. But the challenges has been the time frame for the deliverance of this particular issue, and because we do not have what they are doing as work plans. We do not have exactly what the schedule of the work to be executed are. What we can only discuss is that if you have come out as a company to say that we are delivering this project in the next 6 months, if you are not going to deliver it at that particular period of time, it is expected that you come out in the open to say these are some of the challenges.
Yes.
The problem has always been that, just like you have been saying over and over again, in Nigeria, people just sit down in their office and felt we can do and undo. And that's exactly what you're seeing here. The NNPCL does not think that the whole Nigerian, the responsibility of feedback. And that's exactly the reason why they are not giving us the project procedure that they are following. Unfortunately, for some of these projects, because of my own experience in the industry, for some of these projects, you tend to have the challenges of materials, especially majorly.
This project has been since 2019.
There is a project. Of course, it didn't start in 2019. They awarded the contract in 2019. They started the main project of rehabilitation in 2001 and 2021. What did I want to say? I have a project that I'm privileged to be part of that has been in the pipeline since 2020, and up to this moment, the equipment that is going to be used for that project is not yet at the site of the project, and it has been awarded since the year 2020. Okay, you're talking about the meters that they are going to install in that project. So because we are not producing some of these projects, so some of these things, because we have to order for it, and some of them are not on the shelf equipment that you just go to the store.
So they need to fabricate or wait for it to be manufactured.
You will have to tell the company that this is what we wanted in specification, and then they will be able to design it and then bring it on board. But unfortunately, what we have is a situation whereby some of those people with the responsibility are not doing the right thing to either fast track this project or give the people the necessary information required for them to be able to know the advancement in the project and some of this. I hope that the NNPCL will sit tight. I hope that the government will put them on the toes. Because at this particular period of time, consider the situation in that sector. The forex floating, the subsidy removal, and the repercussion, the hardship that